Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another episode review from Season 6 of The Loud House. Today's episode is titled, Snow News Day. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. In this episode, the action news team try to find proof of an abominable snowman after several of the kids witness something strange lurking around their houses. They manage to get a picture of what looks like the creature, and they end up becoming famous for it, but the creature turns out to be Liam's lost and very unshorn sheep. They try to stop Mr. Bullhofer from getting his hands on the beast, and they eventually prove that the abominable snowman is not what they said it was. The episode ends with the kids apologizing for trying to cover up the truth and promise to only report the facts from now on. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. Similar to what I said in my review of the episode that airs right before this one, Snow News Day is another example of how the story takes place in December, but is not considered holiday themed. We see a bunch of Christmas decorations, but the plot has nothing to do with the holiday whatsoever. Just to satisfy my need to place episodes in a timeline, I'm just going to assume Snow News Day takes place before Snow Escape, and then A Flipmas Carol takes place right after. Where does Season's cheatings fit into all of this? Well, who seriously gives a crap at this point? Anyway, this was another decent episode for the action news team, and it was a unique blend of 3 previous episodes in terms of the plot. The first episode I thought of when watching Snow News Day was Scoop Snoop, where the kids wanted to be the ones to deliver breaking news on something worthwhile, but they undoubtedly get their facts wrong. In this case, they thought they had gotten a picture of an abominable snowman, but Liam was able to recognize the creature as his long-lost sheep Roxanne. But because Liam was rushed down the hill due to an avalanche, he wasn't around to get a close-up of the beast like everyone else, and the others simply ran with the story they had based on just one unverified, but still somewhat convincing picture of the monster in question. This led to the action news team receiving a huge amount of attention both on the internet as well as the local and national news. They pretty much became famous for effectively proving the existence of something everyone thought was made up, which leads me to the second and third episodes I thought of when watching the story play out. One of the episodes I'm talking about is Zack Attack, where Zack seemingly proved aliens were real and in turn caused the entire town to panic. In this case, Royal Woods, and everyone else in the Midwestern part of America for that matter, were freaking out knowing how close this supposed yeti was. But because Rusty feared they would run the risk of being viewed as a bunch of fakes, technically not wrong to say, because that would require them telling the truth like Clyde said they should, the kids concocted a plan to keep their fame intact the same way Lisa wanted to keep her fame in the Loudly Bones. In this episode, the action news team made a plan to find Liam's sheep, shear off the excess wool, and then tell everyone the snowman simply went away. I don't know how they would have been able to sell anyone on the idea that such a gigantic threat just up and left without a trace, but if it's anything like Zack's plan to convince the townspeople aliens were real while simultaneously trying to get rid of the problem he created, I guess anything is possible for the action news team. Obviously they had to do something quick because they assumed if Mr. Bullhofer found that supposed snowman first, he and Catherine Mulligan would figure out the creature was just a sheep, effectively making the kids look like a bunch of frauds. Either that or Mr. B was going to seriously hurt that sheep if they didn't sabotage his capture plans. In the end, they shear the wool off Roxanne and then confess to their deception. I really like that moment because unlike Lisa in the Loudly Bones, the main characters actually make an on-screen apology in front of a live television audience. They said it was wrong of them to try to cover up their lie even though they legitimately believed their discovery was real. Catherine accepts their apology by saying that as journalists, they all make mistakes, including her. I know what she said was very similar to what she said in Scoop Snoop, but I still appreciated those words of reassurance. Now, as much as I enjoyed this episode for the most part, there are a few little head scratchers I can't fully wrap my mind around. While I'm willing to buy into the idea of Liam's sheep looking like a monster due to not getting shorn for over a year and how he taught it to walk on 2 legs so they could skateboard together, because reasons, it doesn't necessarily explain how Roxanne was able to grow so tall, something Stella openly questions herself. Did the excess amount of wool have something to do with it? Better yet, how did Roxanne not know where Liam's farm was? She was able to easily identify who he was out in the forest, so you would think she would also know where he lives. Again, did the excess wool and the irritability it was causing play a role in not being able to find her way back home? Probably, but then again, I could just chalk everything up to the notion of this being another showcasing of cartoons playing around with logic and comedic body exaggerations. Then there's the scene where the kids try to lure the snowman out of the cave it was hiding in. Stella can be seen wearing her Yodel Boy outfit, the same one she used in the episode episode Saved by the Spell. Zach says the abominable snowman has Alpine origins, just like Swiss yodeling, the snowman's love language, so he basically said the creature comes from Europe. However, the abominable snowman originates from the Himalayas in Asia, so even though I appreciate the callback to Stella's Yodel Boy outfit, the little connection the episode tried to make between yodeling and this supposed yeti is factually incorrect. It's funny how the writers didn't do their own fact-checking for this piece of trivia they wanted to put in the script, and yet the episode teaches the lesson on getting your facts straight before presenting anything to the public. Maybe that was the joke they were going for, to see if the viewers were smart enough to realize the mistake they intentionally made. Either that or they just wanted an excuse to put Stella in the Yodel Boy outfit again. I guess you can decide for yourself on that one. Overall, this episode takes a few plot elements from Scoop Snoop, Zack Attack, and the Lowly Bones, and the result is a predictably average but still very passable adventure starring the Action News team. They learn, yet again, how being a journalist means you need to get all your information correct before sharing your story with the world, regardless of how famous you can get from the story, and then having to deal with the consequences that come with not telling the truth. Besides the head-scratching moments I alluded to earlier, everything else came off as fairly good, and this was definitely a step up from the other snow-related episode that airs right before this one. You may disagree, but as always, that's just my 2 cents. With that said, I give Snow Newsday a 7.7 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Snow Newsday. I will leave you with one last piece of behind-the-scenes trivia. The script originally said Chandler was going to appear in the background when the Action News team was being praised while walking down the hallway at school, but he was replaced by Girl Jordan in the final product. This change makes more sense because there's no way you could ever imagine Chandler cheering for Lincoln Lame in any way, shape, or form. Broadcast Blues is all the proof you need when it comes to being reminded how everything needs to be all about him and screw everyone else. If we could have less screen time with Chandler in exchange for more screen time with Girl Jordan, that would be a huge plus, and I doubt anyone is going to disagree with that trade-off. But anyway, as far as the rest of the episode goes, what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.